Hi, my name is Cindy and I'm 26 years old.
My name is Keelan and I am 31 years old. I almost said 30.
My name is Victoria and I am 26.
My name is Rachel Butler and I'm 28 years old.
My name is Eunice Fernandez and I am 33 years old.
I'm currently a least novice boxer with 5 fights, and I'm looking to turn to the open category in the next year.
I am hoping to have my first amateur fight, so I suppose my boxing status is amateur boxer, and I've been boxing for about 2 years.
I'm a boxing coach and then as well an amateur boxer, just trying to train for my first fight actually.
I am a week out as of today for my first amateur boxing match.
My boxing status was amateur, but now I'm a full-time boxing coach. Yep.
COVID, but not what people usually think, because most people pick up a hobby when they're super bored during COVID, but I spent most of my quarantine time completely alone, and it was I'm not going to go into that, but it was a really interesting experience, and the only thing I had in my mind was I need to go punch something.
Honestly, I got into boxing for fitness, and one day one of the coaches was like, hey, your technique's pretty good. Would you ever be interested in like sparring or fighting? And so I said, yeah, sure. Like, I'll give it a shot. And that's how I started.
A friend introduced me, funny enough, the owner of the gym that I'm at, he introduced me into boxing.
I used to be a dancer and I worked at a gym that had boxing classes, and I started taking boxing classes because I liked the instructor. And I found out that dance and boxing actually has a lot in common.
I started boxing actually for fun. Like my cousin years ago asked me to come with her to a class, and it was more for like fitness, to get my cardio in, and it turned into something a lot more, obviously.
Learning how to push through when things are not necessarily all sunshines and rainbows.
I think boxing, while it's a physical challenge, has mostly challenged me mentally. I think one of the things that I really enjoy about boxing is like every time I get into the ring to spar, I'm scared. And so every single time that I go sparring, I have to overcome that fear.
Boxing kind of humbled me because I thought I was very fit at the time. And I did one class and I was like, wow, I'm not that fit. Or not as fit as I thought I was. And then mentally, the more you get into it, like technically and like doing a little bit more aggressive boxing outside of the box fit, it's definitely a mental game because you really got to prepare yourself to be like, okay, I'm going in and I'm gonna get hit.
Boxing has challenged me physically and mentally. It's not an easy sport. Obviously, it's a combat sport. It is very physical. And so I think from a physical perspective, like you're constantly putting yourself in a position to get a little bit beat up. And then mentally, at the end of the day, it's just you by yourself in the ring.
Definitely challenges my discipline in my training. Also, more importantly, my awareness.
I think we talk about this a lot. I think I'm really lucky that after I moved to Toronto, I trained in an environment with so many like inspiring women. We collectively, as a group, we give each other so much support.
As a woman in boxing, I feel like there are ups and downs. A lot of clubs are a lot better nowadays at like being inclusive of women and making sure women kind of get their fair share of like attention.
It's been interesting. I think the first time, because I knew somebody going into the gym, I felt comfortable coming in.
I've been to several boxing gyms, and typically they're quite male dominated, especially as you get into more competitive or amateur boxing focused gyms, and less on like the box fit side. So I would say like my experience hasn't been super negative. It's just something that I think I've gotten used to.
Boxing is like a very male-dominant sport. It always has been. When I started, again, it was just a lot of guys that I had to train with. You know, didn't make me feel uncomfortable, but it just didn't feel like home.
As a woman in this sport, at the very beginning, I was so eager to prove myself. It's almost like I need to show the world that I'm good and I'm better than the boys. And then eventually I think that mindset kind kind of shifted into I just need to be the better version of myself. I'm not doing this to prove anything. I'm not doing this for anyone else. I'm just doing this for me.
In general, I think boxing has given me a lot more confidence, and not necessarily because of the sport or because of the violence, but because in boxing, if you say you're going to do something, you kind of have to do it. And if you don't, it shows in your training, it shows in your results.
This sport in particular has made me a lot more confident in myself, especially as a woman walking outside, like primarily in the dark or like in large groups. Like I feel more confident in myself and my ability if something were to happen, like I could handle myself, but also just like my overall mindset, I feel like has gotten stronger.
When I first started boxing, like I mentioned, for me, it was just about finding a sport that I enjoyed or a way to kind of elevate my fitness level and continue to be active and prioritize wellness. With boxing, it really flipped in my brain because it felt like I was doing a really great workout that I really enjoyed, but I wasn't losing any part of myself. I was actually gaining confidence. I was gaining skills.
My mindset definitely has changed in ways where I see people as all the same.
I'm so glad and so grateful for the community of women here. I keep telling people, I'm like, I'm here because of my girls and my coach is here.
Super fun. I mean, I'm at a great gym that I love, and the community is absolutely wonderful. Very supportive.
Very friendly, for especially as somebody who's never done boxing. When I first started, no one really comes off or feels like oh, you can't talk to me because like we're at a boxing gym.
I think the environment is really unique. It's very different from a lot of the gyms that I've been to, and you end up meeting a really wonderful group of people that are super welcoming.
Overall, like it's a great space. It's a space for everyone to come in and just, like, you know, do their thing, learn how to box, especially meet people who have the same interest. And I think that's the best part, is like when you find a community that you can relate to.
If you are a girl and you're like, oh, is this for me? Is it not? Just come in, come try it out.
My message is just do it. Do it scared. Just do it.
Definitely just test the waters, go to different classes, and it's not as scary as everyone thinks it is.
Boxing has been such an amazing way of bringing more self-confidence in my life, both in the gym and outside of the gym. And it's always going to be scary, but as long as you have, you know, a good community to support you, great coaches, you know, you'll be able to fight through it. And I really think that it's worthwhile in the end.
My message for women who want to take up boxing is to just do it. #Nike.